Hi everybody, it's Anthony Morrison and welcome to our email marketing setting up your list module. So by this point, you understand the opt-in page process, you understand email marketing, but you got to set up your email marketing list, right? Now, here's what that means. You may have multiple landing pages or opt-in pages out there. For instance, you could have this page right here, and this is about diet. And then you could have this page right here, and this is about work at home, okay? And you could have this page way out here. This could be about gardening. All right, so you've got all these pages. These are your opt-in pages. All right, so you got all these pages right here. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that when people opt in, they get emails that are relevant to what they opted in for. So you don't want somebody that opted in on a diet page to get an email about gardening. So here's what you do. For every opt-in page you build, you set up a list segment in Aweber. All right? And so for this one, we would set up a dieting list. We would set up a gardening list. And then we would set up a work at home list. So we'd set up 3 lists. Here's what we do. We would simply tell our opt-in pages, anytime somebody opts in on the diet page, just go ahead and deposit them right into the dieting list. Anytime somebody opts in on the gardening page, just put them in the gardening list, and the work at home page, put them in the work at home list. So what's happening here is the people are going into a list inside of your account that's segmented to whatever it is that they were interested in. Okay, that's step number 1. Now step number 2 is, once you've built these lists and you've connected them with your opt-in pages so that they're funneling the information into the right list, well, how do you send emails, right? Well, there's 2 ways to send emails. Number 1 is through an autoresponder, okay? Now what the autoresponder does is you set it up to send emails to this list automatically, meaning you don't have to go in and send it manually. So what would happen is your dieting list would automatically hit your autoresponder, okay, for that list, and it would begin to send out like email number 1, then it would go to email number 2, etc., all the way down the list, okay? So this is how the autoresponder works. You can space these autoresponders out so that it automatically sends them every so often, right? I normally do 2 days, okay? So you probably want to write that down. I'll normally send an autoresponder every 2 days. So between email 1 and 2, there's 2 days. And then there's 2 days between 2 and 3, and so on and so forth, right? So I give a couple of that, normally nets you about 3 emails a week. Now, the very first email that you send out to your list, email number 1, very important. This should contain your premium, whatever you were going to give away. So this should have your premium plus what I like to call a promo. All right? This is a little trick that I use that works really well. So we're going to use a different color here to kind of denote this for you. This piece right here. I use this and it works very, very well. I'm going to scoot over here to this side so you can see it. What I do is email number 1 is going to be the most opened email that you send out. Every email you send after that, statistically, the number of people that are going to open it and respond to it are just going to keep decreasing, right? So this very first email is really important. Number 1, it's important that you build good rapport with your list, meaning you've got to give them what you told them you were going to give them. So that would be this premium right here. You want to make sure the second they opt in on one of these pages over here, boom, they get into this list, they shoot through this autoresponder, they get email 1, and now they've got this premium. They got the free giveaway. But you can also add a promo to it, meaning you can also promote something to them. So let's say that we did this, right? I'm going to try to draw it here for you. It's a little technique I use called the PS technique. All right? So let's just say that that is email 1. Okay? So this is email number 1. And you've got all this stuff in here that's telling them how to download their free premium, right? But down here you put PS. And this is where you put your affiliate offer link. Okay? Now, here's how you normally do it. You know this is a dieting list, right? So if people go through this funnel, I'll skip over to the side, they come from here, they go into here, they're in a dieting list. That means they're on an autoresponder interested in dieting. It sends them out email number 1 with a premium that is about dieting because you talked about it over here on the opt-in page. So your promo should be about dieting. It's pretty simple. So if your promo is about dieting, then down here you could put a link to a product that has something to do with dieting, right? So up at the top, you make good on your promise. You give them your premium right up in here, but then down here you PS and you say, hey, by the way, I've also got this really cool X that I found. Maybe it's this really cool dieting program, or like my sister, she loves to use this BodyRock.tv, probably a good promo for them, but you can do whatever you want down here. But you're able to promote so that you can earn money from the first email that goes out, and here's why you want to do it. Email number 1 is going to be the most opened email, which means you have the most opportunity to promote your affiliate offer. So my suggestion is always fulfill your obligation. Give away the free stuff up in here that you promised to give away. But then down here, use the PS technique. That way the email is not about this affiliate offer. The email is all about giving them the free premium, welcoming them to your list, thanking them, congratulating them, the whole thing. But down at the bottom, you say, hey, PS, by the way, I found this really cool X, or I know this really cool program, or I got this really cool DVD set on dieting, and you ought to check it out. And you put a link to it. Now it's not invasive. You haven't irritated them. You haven't offended them by immediately trying to sell them something. What you've done is you've built goodwill. You've given them what you told them you were going to give them. And then you've also kind of slid in a promo that can earn you some money. Very, very important technique, something that works very, very well. You'll want to continue to use this PS technique throughout all of your emails. Now, the autoresponders are typically 2 days apart, but this first email is 0 days, right? That means you want it to go out instantly. They put their information in the box, they get put into the list, they instantly get this email within seconds. Then I typically go every 2, sometimes 3 days. It's really up to you how much email you want to send, but every 2 to 3 days I'll send emails. And you know, it's really important. A lot of people, when they start doing this, forget that it's really important to send good content. You don't want to always just be selling something. You want to also be sending good content. You can always PS a sale. Now, the other type of send is a broadcast. All right, now what's the difference? All right, well, here's the difference. An autoresponder goes out to people based on the time they joined your list. So if you have 10 emails here and they're all set to go out every 2 days, right? Then that means if this person, let's say person A, joins your list today, they're going to get email 1 today and they're going to get email number 2 2 days from now. But if somebody comes and joins your list tomorrow, well, then they're going to get email 1 tomorrow and they're going to get email 2 2 days from tomorrow. See what I mean? People are always going to be getting different emails from you because they joined your list at different times. With a broadcast message, you're actually sending to your whole list, so you're sending to 100% of your list at one time. So this is great to get an influx of traffic to something. If you want to make a lot of money for the day, right? Let's just say you're doing a lot of promotions and today you want to generate the most revenue. You could send out a broadcast to your whole list because it doesn't matter where they're at in this autoresponder sequence. They're going to get this broadcast if you send it because it's not an autoresponder. It's a broadcast message to your whole list. So these two work hand in hand. It's always good to send out a few broadcasts a week, maybe 2, and then let your autoresponders do their job. But that's the difference in the two types of sends. It's very, very important and very crucial that you segment your list properly. You don't want people that opted in on a dieting page getting emails about gardening or working at home or vice versa. So all of this is very, very important. I'm going to actually step off the screen for just a second so you can get a good shot of this. That way, if you want to write this down, I'm not blocking half of it. You can just press pause and see the screen so you'll be able to write it down. So I'm going to step off for just a second, give you a chance to write this down, and then you should follow up with us on the very next module.